Hi there, my name is Kelly. It is so great to be practicing with you again today. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, go ahead and take a moment and do that before you leave today. Also, you're going to need a couple props for today's practice. So go ahead and find yourself a ball, maybe a tennis ball, a lacrosse ball, any other type of ball. If you do not have one, go get a rolling pin, wrap it up in a towel, a small towel, like a hand towel, so that you can wash that later, and keep your rolling pin safe for food use as well. And second item you're going to need is either a yoga block or perhaps a small step stool, or if you're practicing near a set of stairs, that could be valuable for part of our practice as well, okay? So go ahead and grab those items along with anything else that you would like to have for your Shavasana, and we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start in a standing position today. So what I would love for you to do is just first find yourself in mountain pose. So take your feet under your hips or a little bit wider so you're in a comfortable, stable stance. Even let your eyes close and just drop into your feet. Establish a connection with the soles of your feet. Notice how they land here against your mat. Can you feel the contact of your big toe mound, your pinky toe mound? Good. And that little point at the back of your heel. Good. Make a connection as best as you can with those points. And I want you to remember how the sensation felt when we come back to this in a little bit later. So shift your weight onto one of your feet, come into a standing balance, and roll the other foot over your ball. So we're just looking for a little bit of sensation here along the underside of the foot, rolling out the fascia. Find all of the different areas under your foot that you can. For all of us, like, different areas are going to feel really sensitive on different days. So for me today, I'm really feeling it on the outside arch. I always seem to feel it quite a bit around the pinky toe, and you'll all have different sensations in different areas. So also you might notice that you have a tendency to kind of skip around the outside edge of the foot and around the back of the heel. So drop into those points as well, just giving yourself as much stimulus so that you can feel that gentle massage pressure underneath the foot. Good. When the rolling feels complete, we're going to switch it up a bit, same foot, but now push your foot down over the ball and really see if you can let your toes land and spread across the ball. Work through your toe mounds. Good. Add the amount of pressure that feels right for you, okay? If you're using a lacrosse ball, pretty good chance that you're not going to need a whole lot of stimulus there. Same with a rolling pin, that wood is really firm. So you may not need a lot of extra pressure. Good. Continue just a little bit longer. Notice how your balance is on this side as well. And when you feel complete, return to your mountain pose. Let your eyes close. Good. Notice the sensation under the foot that you just rolled and how it's making contact with your mat. Compare that to the other side and to the way your mountain pose felt the first time we came into it. Good. Let your eyes blink open. Bring the ball to the other foot. Find your standing balance on the second leg and start rolling forward and back over the ball. Good. So this is an alternative to a breathing practice that we might do to center at the beginning of class. This is another way to shift our awareness from the busyness of our mind and bring ourselves down into our body, coming from that area where we have all of our thoughts running around and milling around up here in that airy, spacey energy, and taking it deep dive all the way down to that area where we feel most grounded and connected to the earth. Wonderful. Okay. Roll around that back edge of your heel and then start pressing your foot down over the ball when you're ready. Good. Spread the toes over the ball. See if you can get between each toe. Base of the toes. Good. And again, pressing until you feel the pressure. Okay? No pain. The more that you commit to a practice like this, Taking 5 minutes every day to give a little pressure, massage underneath the feet. You're going to notice that the tissues, the fascia will begin to be more open and more open and more open. Good. Okay? So pressing into all those different areas. If you need a balance challenge, close your eyes or take your gaze straight ahead of you or up to the ceiling. That can also shift the balance rather than looking down at the floor. And when you're finished experimenting with that, you can go ahead and step back down onto your mat, both feet. Connect to your mountain pose. Connect to your feet. Feel the tissues underneath the foot that you just rolled. Imagine back to the very first mountain pose we took. And see if there's any difference here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh the breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. Sigh the out breath. Beautiful. Blink open the eyes, guide your hands together at the center of your heart space, bow your head to your heart. Take a moment here and connect to an intention for yourself today. And let's engage in a loving kindness intention for our breathing space community, for a beautiful city of Fredericton, for a province of New Brunswick, for a country of Canada, and extending that all the way to all beings on the earth. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we ride the waves of our lives. May we live in peace, no matter what we are given. Inhale, breathe that into your heart space. Exhale, sigh, release it out, release the arms, squeeze the shoulders toward each other on your back. Lift the collarbones up toward the sky, open the throat, take the gaze to the ceiling. And then roll the chin down toward the chest, start to curl the shoulders in, round through the back. Bend the knees, incrementally release down through the spine, dangle the hands, and let the weight shift from side to side a few times. Finding a little seaweed shape here. And feeling the breath. So go ahead and inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh. Inhale. Exhale. One more like that with me. Beautiful. Anchor into your feet, strengthen the legs. Slowly begin to rise up through the torso, stacking the pelvis on the legs, lifting the low back, the mid back, the upper back as the shoulders roll forward and up, back and down, and land gently underneath your ears. Crown of head lifts to the sky, fingers open, pressing down toward the floor. Inhale, rise, reach, extend the arms up. Exhale, twist to the right, split the arms from the front and the back to the room. Inhale, rise and reach overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, reach the fingers to the front and back of the room. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, let the hands dangle down by the sides once more. Roll the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. One more time. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Beautiful. Okay, I would love for you to turn and bring your prop close to you if you're using the stepping stool or the block. And from here, what I'd love for you to do is step up onto your prop with one foot, and I'd love for your hand to be close to the wall so you have some support there. I want you to really stabilize on the leg that's lifted on your block, and then I want you to pretend that your floating leg is in mountain pose. So engage through the foot, lengthen up long through both sides. Notice if the floating hip is reaching up into the air, and then see if you can level it off. Good. Hold that. Open the arms. Reach the palms long. Engage the shoulders on the back. Deep breath into the collarbones. Exhale. Inhale. Breathe into the collarbones. Exhale. Bring the hands to the hips or one hand to the wall. Let the floating leg be loose and start bringing the leg forward and back toward the front of your mat, toward the back of your mat. And we do want to play with the balance and the stability of the standing leg a little bit. So if it's accessible to you, take the hand off of the wall, or even hover the fingertips off of the wall, or maybe just use one finger. Otherwise, the arms can be wherever you like them to be. The arms might swing with the movement. Good, come back through center. Let's lift the floating knee up so the thigh is level with the floor. Open to the long edge of your mat and close the circle around knee to knee. So lift the knee up, open the knee away from your body, round around, knee back through center. Continue several more times. Let's feel this opening that we're experiencing through the hip now at this point. Good, one more in this direction. Okay, then we're going to reverse it. So engage through the glutes in the back of the hip. Bring the knee behind you, out to the side, all the way to the front and down. Try a few more like that. Let this be more about the rotation of the hip than the amount of height that you get or how big your circle is. Good, we want this to feel nourishing. We're warming up the hips for the first time in our practice. Last one. Beautiful. Okay, you can work with the feet grounded on the floor for this next movement, or you can keep your feet up onto your block. I wouldn't recommend doing the stepping stool, but if you're using a staircase, you could do that for this part of the practice. So toes and the base of the toes for sure are on your block. Then we're going to let the heels drop down behind the block and find a nice opening through the back of the calf muscles. And then you can play with lifting the heels, maybe coming up onto the tiptoes, and then slowly lowering the heels down. Let the heels dangle behind your block. Lift the heels up again. Lift, lift, lift. With as much control as possible, slowly lower. Let the heels come down, pause there. Come back up through neutral. Good. Step off of your block. Go ahead and shake whatever out that needs to have a little release now. You could even bring the hands down the legs. Find a little self-massage here. And then step up onto your block or the step stool with your other foot and find that mountain pose position first, okay? So find nice stability in the standing leg. Find those 3 points of your foot, big toe mound, pinky toe mound, back of the heel, and then same thing with the floating leg. Energize, activate, engage through the foot, all the way up the leg, hips level with one another, and breathe here. Good. The hand can stay at the wall. You might hover the hand or just use one finger. Let the floating leg be loose. Let the knee joint and the hip joint flow fluidly. And just let the leg come forward and back, forward and back. Good. Really working with more stabilization through the standing leg, hip, using all of those muscles around your hip bone, down through your leg, all the way to the ankle, all the little muscles in the feet and the toes. They're all involved here. Beautiful. Okay, come back through center when that feels complete for you, and let's shift the movement. Raise the knee up parallel with the hip, open the knee to the side, and circle back, knee toward knee. Lift the knee, open the knee. Good. Noticing the range. Maybe it's different in this leg than on side one. It certainly is for me. We're just going to let that be and work through the range that we have available in this moment. Good. Every movement you're making is nourishing the tissues, refreshing the blood flow. Good. Last one in this direction. Switch directions. Engage through the glute. Bring the leg back behind you. Roll out to the side, back through the center. Release down. Good. Several more circles. Let the range be whatever it is. And we'll be okay with wherever we've arrived today. Three or four more. You can always step off of the block if that's a better option for you. You do you. Good, last one. Step off of your block, return to mountain pose. Good. Let's establish our mountain pose from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head this time. Good. Establish that connection through the soles of the feet. Engage the muscles of the legs. Good. Imagine that the thigh bones were rolling in toward each other and then smiling toward the back of your mat. Engage through the little abdomen. Lift long through the sides of the rib cage. Let the shoulders dangle from the shoulder sockets. Ears line up over the shoulders. Crown of the head lifts to the sky. Breathe here, long and strong. Send the breath into any areas of the body where you're feeling a little bit of constriction today. Inhale the breath. Exhale the breath. Bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, hinge forward, and then we're going to take the torso over to the right, a little bit behind us over to the left, and bring the torso forward again. So thinking circles with the hips, just like you were stirring a big pot. You decide what's in the pot. Good. We'll do this direction, then we'll move in the other direction. Feeling fluid through the hip area. Let's move in the other direction now. Good. Notice the range available. Honoring your body within this range. Giving yourself full permission to be exactly where you are. Two more. And when that's complete for you, come on back through center. Beautiful. Step toward the front of your mat. And we're going to inhale, rise, reach, extend the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, let the knees bend and fold over the legs, let the head dangle. Slowly, incrementally lift the spine, roll up all the way. Rise, reach, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, lower the hands to heart center. Land onto your right foot, lift the left leg up, and start to hinge forward. Bringing the left leg behind you, not moving the whole way back yet, just playing with this hinge. Little bit of single leg deadlift action, moving toward that warrior three shape, not yet involving the upper body by extending the arms, but rather just starting to feel the muscles on the back body, in and around the shoulders and upper back, start to engage and warm up. And also, if you need a little bit of support for stability, you can be hinging toward the wall and letting your hand come to the wall. Or potentially, maybe you bring your hand down to the block. Maybe you bring your hand down to the floor. We'll try 2 more. So much stability and strength through the standing leg. Rise up. Bring your hands to your hips. Extend your left leg back behind you. Turn all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat. And bring the toes wider than the heels. And I want you to just play with shifting the weight side to side a few times. Good. Feel yourself moving through this range of motion. Notice where the sensation is. Notice if the upper back has a tendency to round here. And I want you to think broad and open. We're still working with engaging the muscles in behind our shoulders, opening the chest. We need to be breathing into the lungs and the collarbones. Yes, open up your posture. Good. If it's available, sit a little bit deeper. You'll notice that the knees are moving out toward the toes. The hips are sitting back away from the knees. Beautiful. Stay with it just a little bit longer. Good. Smile. Breathe. You got this. Good. Okay, from here, turn to the other edge of your mat, perhaps the back edge of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Lift your back heel and bring your balance and your weight into the front foot. Lift off the back leg if possible, and then we'll move through that hinging motion. So working toward a warrior three without getting too caught up on what's happening through the back leg. What I really want you to focus and concentrate on is the stability through the foot, the ankle, all the way up through the standing leg. And whatever the back leg is doing is just kind of following along. So come up to standing, in between, hinging, long spine. If you're really starting to feel it in the low back, hand to whatever's near you. Give yourself a little bit of support while keeping the engagement throughout your movement. 2 or 3 more. Good. Rising back up, leave the back leg lifted, send it behind you, front knee bends, land the back foot, turn all 10 toes toward the long edge of your mat again. Good. Maybe a little bit narrower this time, and sitting down into our goddess pose shape. So we'll lift the elbows, squeeze the shoulders together on the back, open the palms, and also press your fingertips away toward the sky. So you're lengthening and extending, expressing through the fingers. Good. Feel all that engagement in the back body. Good. And then sink in. Tuck the tail slightly. Knees are opening to the side. If it feels better for you to be pulsing, lifting and lowering up out of this squat, then do that. On the way up, engage the back of the legs and the glutes. Good. Really strong here. Pressing up, or option to stay. Breathe through it, whichever option you choose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more breaths here. Take your gaze to your nose. Inhale. On your exhale, push through your heels, engage the back of the legs and the glutes and rise up. Breathe in, reach the arms overhead, interlace the last 3 fingers, index fingers and thumbs connect. And on our next exhale, we're gonna take Kali sword and cut through any fears that we've been holding on to all through these past few weeks. Big inhale of the breath. Exhale. Come on up, breathe in. Exhale. 3 more. This time, stay down. Fingers to your mat. Turn your heels out so they're in line with your toes now. Any amount of bend in your knee as we begin to find a wide-legged forward bend. So again, you might like to take a little shift of your hips from side to side, play with straightening and then bending the knees, eventually coming to stillness. And breathe here. Inhale, come up onto tented fingers, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to hips. Exhale with a long spine. Extend all the way back up to standing. Inhale, rise and reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, turn the right foot forward. Exhale, lift the left heel and soften down into a high lunge position. I like to widen my feet and separate them a little bit wider to give a little bit more space to the low back and the sacral area, so you're welcome to take that option if it serves you. Good. We're going to work toward thigh parallel with the floor. If that's your jam today, great. If not, it's just something to play with in the future. Inhale, rise, reach, extend the arms up. Exhale, energize into both legs, front foot pressing into your mat. Engage the front glutes, engage the front hip back slightly, reach back out through the back thigh. On the next exhale, push the front leg straight. Inhale, soften into the front knee. Exhale, push the front leg straight. Front glute engages strong to lift you up. Several more here. Option for fingertips to be on shoulders if you're working with a shoulder injury. Try 3 more. Good. Soften down into your lunge. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, start to shift your weight to the front leg. Exhale, step left foot to meet the right. Back at the top of your mat. Inhale, rise, reach, extend the arms up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale to a long spine, flat back. Exhale, fold. Strong legs, inhale, rise, reach, extend the arms up. Exhale, lower hands through heart center. Inhale, balance on the left leg, squeeze the right knee toward the chest. Exhale, extend the right leg back behind you, plant the toes. Widen the feet, settle in, high lunge on the second side. Good. Inhale. Arms rise, reach, extend up. Energize through the back thigh. Working front thigh parallel to floor. Really engaging through the front hip, drawing it back in space. Exhale, press the front leg straight. Inhale, lower. Exhale, strong rise. Inhale, lower. Good. Control the movement on the way up and on the way down. Good. If the split stance is a lot, walk the back foot in a little bit. Good. 3 more. Take the pressure out of the front knee by using the muscles in the back of the left leg and glute all around the hip to bring you up to standing. Last one. Reach down, stay into your pose. Breathe in here. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, lift off the back toes, shift the weight toward the front leg, and spring forward to standing. Inhale, rise, reach, extend the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forward over the legs. Step back to kneeling. If you need support underneath your knees, go ahead and take that support now. And you're going to bring your shoulders over your wrists. The hands could be in a wider position. You might even like to have them wider than your mat. And we're going to work into a few push-up shapes here. So if this is really new to you, you could sit even a little bit further back, cross the ankles, and work from there. I'm going to demo that first, and then I'll come forward into a kneeling push-up. Good. So the palms are planted down and all 10 fingers are engaged. And as we broaden the elbows, we squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back, and you can let your chest gently come down. Then push through the entire hand, bring the elbows back towards straight, and broaden the shoulders apart from one another. Good. Soften in, squeeze the shoulders toward each other, and then press the armpits toward one another. Engage the chest muscles to push the floor away. Try this a few more times. Beautiful. If this is quite manageable for you, you might like to shift the hands further forward and take the body into more of a plank position with the knees down. Same movement, shoulders squeeze toward each other on the downward phase and push the floor away. Pull the shoulders away from each other. Expanding on the way down. Squeeze the elbows and the armpits toward each other on the way up. Good. So, just so as to not confuse you, I'm not teaching chaturanga right now. We're working on shoulder strength through a push-up position. 3 more. Really well done. This is our last one. Good. And we're going to lower all the way down. Bring the hips to your mat. Lower the chest. Stack your hands. Release your forehead onto your hands and breathe into your abdomen. Feel the massage of your abdomen against your mat, against the floor. Release the breath. Continue. And about 2 more breaths here. You can keep the head in the position that it is in. The legs might be fine as well. If you're feeling anything that's a little bit crunchy in the low back, then maybe just kind of wiggle the hips and lengthen them from the spine slightly. And legs about hips distance apart, maybe a little bit more. And then I want you to engage the whole right line of your leg. Point out through the toes, energize every single muscle all around the shin bones, the knee, the femur, the hip, and the glutes. Point your big toe directly back in front of you. You might notice that the hip rotates out and the big toe wants to go a little bit to the right, but see if you can bring everything back to center. Good, and then lower that leg down. Do the exact same thing with the left foot. Extend the leg up off of the floor, toes point behind you, and squeeze every muscle of the leg, hip, and glutes.
toward the bones. Good. Lifting that leg. Engaging everything from the hip down so it's not the low back that's doing the work. Release the left leg. Energize through both of the legs. And as though you were swimming, kicking the legs, one then the other. Behind you, exact same engagement we just did in the static position. The pelvis is staying grounded. The chest, the forehead are relaxed. Good. A few more here. Awesome. And release. Bend the knees. Take a little windshield wiper release. Out through the low back, through the legs. Good. Release the legs back behind you. Bring the arms down alongside the hips, palms facing inward. Okay, so the forehead starts on the mat. And all I want you to do is just start to lift the shoulders up off of your mat and feel the back of the shoulders squeeze toward each other. And also reach the fingertips down toward the feet. Good. That will help you engage the muscles on the sides of your back body. Keep all of that, and then from there, just gently lift the chin up. We're not taking the gaze forward yet. You're looking exactly down at your mat. Okay? Breathe your neck long as your chest starts to lift off of the mat. Lower down. Breathe in again. Breathing the chest long and the neck long. It's like the crown of the head is getting further away from the torso. Slowly lower down again. I'm keeping the shoulder engagement the whole time. Inhale. Breathe into the chest. We'll lengthen through the spine, the cervical spine, all the way up through the crown of the head. Lower down. Let's try one more. Really long press through the fingers. Rise through the chest. Lengthen the neck. Reach the head forward and slowly lower down. Good. Release the right cheek onto your mat. Let the front of the shoulders roll down toward your mat. Breathe into the back of the shoulders and breathe out. Good. Lift the head, turn and rest the left cheek on your mat. Big breath into the back of the shoulders. And exhale. Inhale, reach back through center. Energize through the legs. Lift both legs up off the mat. Squeeze all the muscles of the bone to the bone. Reach back through the hands. Feel the back of the body ignite. Pubic bone stays down. Core stays energized. I do not care how high you're lifted off of the mat, but I want you to feel every single muscle in your body lighting up, lengthening the crown from the toes. Nice long line through the body. Hold it here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift up again. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift up. Reach, extend through the toes. All the way up through the crown of the head. Breathe in. Breathe out. Release. Bring your hands under your shoulder. Push through the hands and knees to rise up to table pose. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Lift the tailbone, soften the belly, pull the heart forward and through, gaze up. And reverse. Start with the tailbone. The back of the pelvis, the low back, mid back, upper back. Back of the neck. Move at your own pace. Feel your breath. Any other movements that your body's craving, you could take them now, shifting the hips side to side, perhaps. Return to neutral. Good. Come down onto your seat. Shift both legs to the front of your mat. We're coming down onto our back. I'd love for you to bring your block with you if you have one. Lower onto the forearms. Let the rest of the body settle down. Lengthen the spine. Good. We're going to let the feet be about hips distance apart. So the knees are separated. The heels are coming in toward the sit bones. And we're going to open the arms and squeeze the shoulders toward each other so the chest is open and the arms can help to be a bit of a stabilizer here for us. Push down through your heels, lift the hips, the shoulder blades, and the upper rib cage are going to stay on your mat, okay? Good, so just lifting up the hips into a hip bridge. As you dig the heels in, see if you can press the knees to the front of the room. Drag the heels back towards your sit bones. Really engage through the back of the legs, the back of the thighs, and ever so subtly squeeze the inner legs toward each other. Vertebra by vertebra, release the spine down to your mat. Let's move through that with our breath. Push into your heels, exhale, rise up into your hip bridge. Inhale, lower down. And you decide which breath pattern works for you. I'll give you a suggestion, and then if you find that you prefer the inhale and exhale in the reverse order, then please honor your experience of this movement. Good. Next time, we're going to stay at the top again. Press the knees to the front of the room. Engage the back of the legs, the glutes, as though you were drawing your heels toward your sit bones. Really strong, really stable here. Beautiful. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly lower the spine, bit by bit by bit. Beautiful. Feet wider than hips. Lower the knees to the right. Press the left knee toward the floor. Bring the knees back through center. Lower the knees to the left. Press the right knee toward the floor. Knees back through center. One more time to the right. Knees through center. One more time to the left. Beautiful. When you draw the knees back through center, if you have a block, place it between the upper thighs, just above the knees. We're going to squeeze the block gently between the legs. Bring the legs up, shins about parallel with the floor, knees stacked over hips. You can do this exercise without the block if you don't have one. Just leave the legs about hips distance apart. Take the arms to the side to support your stability. Engage through the core muscles and gently lower your legs toward the left. Use the core muscles to bring you back up through center and then gently to the right. We're by no means taking the legs the whole way to the floor. I really don't want you to be in contact with the core muscles, and when you feel like you're starting to lose the control of the movement, that's when you know that you've gone far enough. That subtle squeeze into the block is apparent throughout each repetition of this shape. Good. One more time to each side, left and right. Back through center, remove the block. Lower the feet down to the floor. Hug the knees into the chest. Lift the feet, draw the legs into happy baby. Knees come toward the armpits. Hands catch the shins or the ankles or the outside edges of the feet. Draw the tail down toward your mat. If movement feels good here, take it and honor your body.
When you're ready, release your hands from your feet, ankles, or legs. Bring the arms down, bring the legs down. Good. And you can go ahead and take a moment to take any final movements that you need to neutralize your body before you prepare for relaxation. If you're ready to move to Shavasana now, go ahead and prepare. And if you have never done legs up the wall before, but you're interested, I'm going to demo that for you today. So that could be an option if you're interested. Okay, so let me just move my friends so that we're not going to knock them over. Okay, you're going to bring one hip right up against the wall, pretty close to it. And then you're going to lean back into your forearms and swing your legs up onto the wall, okay? For some of us, it'll feel good to have the hips right into contact with the wall. For some of us, if the back of our legs are feeling tight, it's not going to feel good to be scooched right up against the wall. So you can just wiggle worm your hips away from the wall any amount until you're feeling like you're in a stable, supported, and restful position. And remember, we're in Shavasana, so we want to feel like we can rest here. We can relax the arms away from the body, or maybe you like to rest the arms in between the front hip points. That's completely up to you. Finding a shape where you can be passive and restful. We want the neck to be nice and long, so we'll gently tuck the chin. Breathing in, calming, quieting energy, and breathing out. Breathing in, calming, quieting energy, and breathing out. Breathing in, calming, quieting energy, and breathing out. See how long the sense of hearing can pick up on the singing bowl, and then let all of the senses dissolve. Feeling your breath here. And slowly, slowly deepening your breath. If your legs are extended up the wall, you can start to walk your feet down the wall. Roll your body through to one side. Pause there for a few breaths. Guide your hands together at the center of your heart space. Bow your head to your heart. We'll move through this wave of metta, loving kindness, first toward ourselves, then toward our inner circle, our loved ones, family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and then to all beings everywhere. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am given. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you ride the waves of your life. May you live in peace, no matter what you are given. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we ride the waves of our lives. May we live in peace, no matter what we are given. Turn up the corners of your lips. Fully present and available to receive the gift of life arising in this moment, in this day. Until next time, namaste.